He gets underway, the Bulldogs and Carlton at Marvel, and look at that, it's Cripps straight away to Walsh.
This year, the selfless, how do I make my teammates better? How do I get a connection? Blues go forward again. Mackay, Setterfield was there. Quickly, Williams to Walsh. He runs away from Rooks.
Back, Bontempelli's going to get taken down by Walsh. Turn
away, and then the other, off the side of the left boot, Walsh. Diving mark. Now Walsh again.
Has got Walsh in support. Delivers to Curnow.
The hands beautifully, and then had the awareness to use his numbers, and then Walsh changed the angle. Great to see Cripps running ahead at the ball. It's been one of his attributes. That
Newman to Walsh. What a return last week.
He's got to get deep and
rushed off the tackle. Newman didn't quite hit that where he wanted to, but he's got the result. Petrevski receiving from Wiedering, and guiding kick was good to Walsh. Silvani thought about it. He takes the kick, goes for Walsh.
great kick.
Mackay, he's ready and waiting. Newman does the winning.
Oh, great
He
kick.
goes.
Great
where he
kick.
had two on their own.
Hewitt trying to work its way to Walsh. Cripps.
Newman, nowhere to go. And Walsh has to go lateral. So good defence by Sydney Ainsworth. Just took a little bit too long. Well done by the Blues. And the kick from Walsh is a good one to find Curnow, but he's got the Coleman medalist, and they'll win another clearance. Hewitt to Walsh. Where's Mackay? It's Curnow this time.
And they should get themselves out of strife.
And he gets the first knockdown, so perfect start for Hayes, down to Drew, going nowhere. Pettinet asked the umpire, what about that bounce? Pettinet, perfect palm down to Hewitt, Walsh, Pettinet, Walsh, Chera. Chip kick, nice ball use, Setterfield. They're up and about the Blues early in this season, early in this game. Walsh, just a joy to watch the Blues in this 2022 form. Short to Owies. Back in the middle, Pettinet with some poise.
Game number 27 tonight. He's going to have a huge night, you suspect. He's got fond memories of this stadium. Jack Nunes.
Maintain the footy. Nunes back to Walsh. Number 8 now for Sam Walsh. Early game.
Really, they've all Cripps made it look easy. Walsh saw a man in the middle, and that's good because Durden can get the handy player back in their side, isn't he, Alex Pearce?
Carlton with the handball, the desperate chains again. Squeezing the can, they're ball out. Carroll! Oh, what a start!
So someone with a lot of experience, a lot of body strength.
Jones back into the... Actually beaten by Silvani. Through Carroll and eventually to Walsh. Ignored Martin. Instead getting it directly to Mackay. This will suit. And he wins the tap down, and he wins it with terrific direction. As a result, Walsh. Great work on the line by Curnow.
Could have been a handball.
How about the ruck work?
Beautiful
A
handball.
little bit silly by Cripps.
Yep,
Go into the ruck, you don't necessarily want to do well. They might put you in there.
permanently.
Runner going past, and so much running but strolling. Walsh and delivering perfectly on a platter.
To play on. Straight down the spine to Walsh, and the Blues are out. And they overran it. Picked up by Durden. Walsh somehow found an avenue where there wasn't a lot.
And this is the issue, I think, when you're tagging a player, but you also have a little bit of help from it. Then, whose responsibility is it?
Walsh again tried to thread the eye of the needle with his handball, and now Berry's over it in court. Spear to the pocket. Kennedy.
Composure from Sam Walsh to wait until something opens up, and you described it.
No rest for the Blues. They are still taking it on. Walsh wants to play on quickly. Cottrell out wide.
To Coney with him and come straight back out. Walsh with the snap. They've got two early ones here, the Blues.
And Walsh in a really quality finish. Going to be an important role for Jack Silvani today. He's got Lockie Keith picking him up.
It's got to be clean. He lost it to Walsh. Danger time again. Walsh for his second. Carlton on fire.
Walsh, he doesn't need a lot of time or space in that close to goal. He knows where they are. He's going to go bang. He's playing a different role today. He's playing a half
go. As you heard, Walsh had to stretch his way. Kennedy in the road for the Giants, is strongly tackled. Tom Green for the Giants. Cripps is keen to take it out. Walsh, Chera. Space opens up in front of him. Hand pass to Walsh going by. Walsh's kick to Silvani. By Kemp. Rove by Walsh. Comes away. Beautiful kick. Cripps marks.
Brian's there. Lurking was Toby Green. And Walsh saves the day.
Varney shoots it back. There's the measured kick. Durden.
If there's anything you want from either side, Jono, just to make sure they're right in this game. It's all about the way they're going forward. Over the head of Mills and Walsh. Cripps. McInerney doing his best, but Sam Welsh, look, he busted it.
Blakey, interesting handball, and Warner was taken instantly. And
Ball knocks out in the tackle. Good smother. Mills. Franklin looking to get in. Off hands as well, Mills. Walsh able to duck one tackle. Not sure what to do.
broken up by the Blues. Walsh now out of the middle. Inside they go. Curnow! He's normally so good in the air. That's broken up. Fisher gets another look at it and says no. It goes.
Pokes it down the line towards Walsh. It was actually a beautifully weighted kick.
Stabbing ball, knocked away from Henry. Spills now to Walsh. Walsh, great vision to look out wide. There, couldn't quite work it. Cripps to Walsh. Walsh around the corner. They're in desperate need of the goal. They've got it. They are back within a goal.
The middle, which they did then. If they can get this part of their game up and going. Cripps getting involved again.
To Walsh.
Cripps and Quain is the matchup they want to go to, and they've switched it to the right side. They'll hit there now and find it.
Small forwards can go to work.
Henry out of the middle, and that's holding the footy.
Handball through traffic. Walsh can get it and go. Delivers inside 50. 2-on-1 deep. Silvani! Over the top. Curnow open goal. Final minute. 5-point game.
And the Blues can waltz it out of there through Silvani.
Silvani got the overlap of Walsh, a real good runner through the middle, taking some real good ground here. Walsh, the inside out, right foot slider, magnificent. And direct.
Reid has to match up on Harry Mackay, and Ridley has gone to...
And that ball movement there from Carlton, but then the run and go from Walsh, that's what makes defensive lines unstable. You can see the Essendon defenders running backwards as soon as you're running away from the ball.
Phillips to the front.
Intentional, so it's play on, didn't go out anyway. Walsh gathers, really taking the mark here. Sideways ball back into Walsh. There's Noons, Martin ran into Walsh and
out of the middle, Walsh.
Stand, play on. Dishes it off to Walsh. Nice kick to slapped away, taken by Grimes. Quick kick out, and Walsh in best position for his. Just the tap. Walsh runs onto it. Needs some support.
Down towards Walsh. Slipped out the back. Cripps does just that. To the Ocean Grove flyer. Left foot ball towards Silvani on a lead. So he has to go a worm burner style of kick. Walsh. Here's Walsh again. What a star this young man is. Wanted to go across in the end. He just went deep. Here's Chuck. Cripps comes a second time. Walsh, he's starting to dominate this game. Takes a bounce with confidence. Thought about a second.
Score involvements, clearances. He's been huge, but just the kick from Nunes.
The Blues will mop up through Walsh, who's had a massive turn. The Blues swarm around the footy. Here's Walsh again, sending it deep forward. Silvani, Curnow, bang!
ball. Silvani's handball to Walsh, excellent.
One chance for Young, didn't want to fumble. To the inside, Newman left it behind. Walsh to Newman.
Didn't quite know what to do with it. Sard, great handball to Cottrell, and now Walsh gets him out of trouble.
Mackay tries to deal with Howard, who just hops on that one leg now. Walsh in front of Crouch, moves it on quickly. Walsh picks off Josh Hunt.
Noons, clever. Walsh to Doc.
On at headquarters, do you?
I know someone who knows someone.
Walsh, sometimes...
Coughed it up to Honey, who's on the burst at half forward. Shares to Walsh, lowers the eyes. Great delivery under pressure.
They want to start the game well.
They're trying to take on the tackle, the Eagles, and Carlton are just up for it at the moment. Too strong.
Advanced up the field, and Carlton find the target in Walsh. Protect it. Honey flicked it across. Walsh on the boot, and they add another. He's had a big final quarter. Sam Walsh.
But this last quarter, he's just worked his way into the game when they've needed him the most. And he's been huge.
Yeah, when the cracks have been whipping, the whips have been cracking this last quarter.
You can't do that. Jeremy Cameron had it stripped. Sam Walsh, outstanding effort.
It's there or it isn't.
Look at that. That's great stuff.
Tackle was strong, second effort, brilliant.
To Doherty. How much ground does Sam Walsh cover? Oh, to Coney, that's the young gun Walsh there. Going head-to-head, look at Walsh. Found a way out of that trap.
Tom de Koning, good chance for Walsh at speed. Pickup was good. Long ball to full forward. Curnow out the back with the speed and the bounce and the finish. Cottrell chose to go wide with the kick to Walsh. Walsh now
fought his way back into it. Put it out in front of Walsh, who's just...
Dave Plowman, Newman, Walsh. Fires the handball in, seemingly well aware of that. Tui off the back of Walsh, straight up the chimney. Walsh back involved. Little handball coming from Tui.
Bruce guided it well for Cornelio, but again, Walsh.
Forward, ball comes to Hopper, goes to O'Halloran, going nowhere. A little flick, Walsh. Nicely tennis ball, little palm down to Cripps is good, little 1-2. Collide, Briggs got a kick away, but here's the wrecking ball. Walsh.
On the call, well done Newman to Wiedering, to the outside O'Brien, and then Walsh. Working in tandem with O'Brien on that same line was a bridge too far, so he heads back for Sam Walsh.
And Nick Hayes is...
Bruce, little tap, here's Walsh again. Tassard, off and running. Bruce, de Koning, Walsh.
Taking the mark, bringing it into Walsh. Played on instantly.
Schomburg, Kennedy, Walsh, across the defensive goal, nicely used. He had... Round 6, has had a couple of VFL games, is one of them. And then Parnell turns it over to Walsh. Cottrell, Walsh. Open space. Almost in the back to Kennedy. Umpire let it roll. Eyes buried to the point that he could use that boundary line.
9 goals, Charlie Cameron, in the past 2 seasons. And counting as Walsh. Strong tackle. McCluggage as well to the bench for a change of jumper. Chera to Walsh. Carlton starting. Carlton's down. Shoved out of the way. Walsh. The coach of the Lions. Here's Cripps, who sparked some intensity. Ainsworth fell over it. Opens the door now for the Blues. Koning. Walsh will just keep trying and working hard. He has an appetite regardless of the situation.
Almost looked uncertain whether he's going to spoil it or mark it. In the end, he kind of did neither.
Into the last quarter.
Charlie Curnow becomes the first Carlton player to kick 60 goals in a year since Brendan Favola did it back. Oh, and they're going to get out of defence here again, Carlton.
Walsh sprints away from half-back. He's got a man to the outside. Bailey tries to close down. Back, McStay in the other direction. Walsh weaves through again. Doherty. Now Chera. Blues have just got to go. Walsh. Floats a handball to Cottrell.
Ideally not. Walsh chases the loose ball now. Jackson did well, manoeuvred himself around Silvani, but it ends up with...
Enormous for both sides. Max Gawn. Good tackle, Sam Walsh. Or that heat and back your skills in under pressure.
Get out of the way. McGovern back towards half forward. How big was Walsh?
Listen to create the turnover, not give away a free kick. And then Sam Walsh with the courage and the smarts to know that it...
Voss, jacket off, headset off. Durden, inside forward 50. Charlie!
2 goals, 7 out of stoppage, and Sam Walsh